Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how I will paint this skull. I will be using a lot of dry brush and I already did my sketch on my watercolor paper with very strong lines so you can see. I'm gonna use my needle eraser to remove the excess of lines as I have shown you in previous videos, and we will start painting. So I removed the excess of lines, is a way lighter now, and I'm gonna start with and I'm gonna change color soon to a darker tone that will be burnt sienna. I'm gonna work the same process on the other horn and then I come back to you. I'm just gonna speed up the video and I will not be talking. Alright guys, I'm gonna continue on the horn. I changed the focus of the camera a bit, and I'm gonna start adding dimensions to the horn, and I'm gonna use the blue, the French blue Ultramarine, to start making the shadows. And what I'm planning to do is show you how I add details on the side, and the other horn I'll be working off camera. Is not a hard project. It's just methodic. We want to create the illusion that we have a certain bending. And many times the horns are very crackled. So I just don't want all these nods to be exactly right. As I said, this part that I had a little bleeding, migration of the paint, I'm not worried about it because I will include a very black, very dark, solid black background, and we will naturally cover it. And I'm adding a tiny bit of violet here. That is also in the description for the colors for this painting. And this I am doing more or less this movement here. The last the violet and the yellow. And I'm gonna changing brush to 003, and I'm gonna add a little bit of neutral tint with that French Ultramarine to increase the contrast in this little notes here. Let's see if it's dry enough. If it's not dry enough, I will have to wait a little more. Again, I want to add the pigment very gently. I don't want any. Yeah. What I'm gonna be doing now is to use a bit of masking fluid. I particularly like Holbein because it's very, very thin, and I can even use a pen. And before I add any other values or go darker or lift a little bit, I want to start the background. So I have a full range of values. I already mixed a lot of my black. This black is pulling towards dark brown. And I will put a little bit of masking around. On the skull itself, I don't need to protect the lines, but for the horn, I will pass a little bit of masking, just a little bit, like around. I can always come back with my background color and paint the tail. But sometimes, if I'm trying to paint details, I may have some migration of the pigment. And for this particular case, I don't want to take any risks. This paper is only 140 pounds. So I'm not trusting it. With 300 pounds, I would just go with ink, with paint and pigment or ink, without having any worries. Migration is a little more difficult. You can watch my video where I paint a cup, a golden cup, and I don't use masking to do the background. And of course, if you want, many painters do that. If you want, you go and start with your background. I think all normal watercolorists do that. I'm probably the only exception because I like to start the paint. If I just paint, I paint whatever comes to mind first, and I go from there. I do the same thing writing. I just start writing whatever scene comes to my mind, and later I will fix up. And this takes a while to dry. And then we can start the background. Now that we have added the background and remove the masking tape, we can have a better idea of the values and if anything needs to be corrected. So what I want to do right now is to add values right here so we don't have this white line. And I'm gonna use a scrub brush just a tiny bit to create some highlights over here, okay? If you pay attention, this is a very close-up, you're gonna see watermarks, the way that the paint settled down with time. So if you are doing background after the painting, I recommend you use a blow dryer so you will not have watermarks. For me, I'm just doing this demo here. It's okay. I let it dry, air dry. But if you are doing for a competition, you want this to be to look as good as possible, meaning that you really want to have a perfect or almost perfect background. So I'm just adding a little bit of a little touch of French Ultramarine blue and a tiny bit of neutral tint coming up here. Note I'm being very gentle and going very slowly. I just want to create a little bit of illusion that this is a cylindrical kind of shape, a cylindrical type of shape. And it bends in different ways. Oops! I have a little spill here. And I'm gonna use this scrub brush number 6, and scrubbing is a good cleaning technique, but it's very unlikely that you can add paint later because it messes up with the fiber of the paper. And I just want to integrate this area here and be very gentle because you don't want to mess up with your background, okay? And as soon as I finish this, I will post the final version online. You can see on my Facebook or you can see here in YouTube. And if you like the video, please subscribe